Debbie Cowan here again, and I am so fortunate and happy to have one of my dearest friends with me, Yvonne Vance from Realty World in Ocala, but she really does service Marion, Lake, and Sumter counties, correct?
Right, correct.
So we were just talking before we put the cameras on that Yvonne and I have known each other since I really started here in prime lending, so right at the 6-year mark coming up.
Right.
And we have transformed our bodies, quite honestly.
Right.
And you got me going on it.
Right.
And so I can give you the credit, but I mean,
Oh,
you
no,
have
I don't know
outdone
about
me,
that.
man. You have outdone me. I haven't seen you in probably, 5 months maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
And you just look like you're 20 years old.
20 years old. Boy, isn't she laying it on.
Well, I am. Okay, I'll make it 30, but she is going to maybe do something different in the beginning years because they say blondes have more fun. So
That's right. I'm going to go blonde.
And
I've never
honestly,
been blonde before.
I don't know how in the world you can have any more fun in your life than what you have, because that's all you do is have fun. I see pictures. I watch you on videos. I see you loving the lifestyle of the villages. And
Oh, I love living in a village.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great place. Anybody, I don't care if you're single, married. I don't care if you stand on your head. It's a good place.
Well, you have embodied the whole lifestyle there because you love it, and I see it, and I'm jealous, and I see you dancing.
I love to dance. I love to meet people. I mean, I have met. So I was just telling Gabby, I met this guy who's a retired litigator from Broward County.
Okay.
And so interesting.
Yep.
And
it's a melting pot of people, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's just like people from all over. I have a friend of mine that was texting me earlier. She's, her and her husband started having, built a security business.
Yeah.
Before ADT.
What?
Yeah, so they had this big security business down in South Florida.
Okay.
And ended up selling it and moved to the villages. And she's lived in the villages, I think she said 14 years now. And her husband's been dead a few, I think half of that.
Got it.
But very interesting people.
And that's the thing. I mean, the very, I don't go there very often, but when I do, it's just a plethora of different people but everyone is happy. I mean, it really...
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, people say, oh, villagers are this, they got bad attitudes.
I don't see it.
There's always people with bad attitudes no matter where you go.
No matter where you go.
It doesn't matter. So, but as far as I'm concerned, there's like no real strangers over there.
No.
You meet people and everybody's just like...
And you've lived there, what? Are you
2 years?
2 years? 2 years. Because I was thinking about you earlier today, and I can remember going back to when you had the farm.
Yep.
And you started getting the goats.
Yes.
And you started off with what, like 2, and then you...
Oh, yeah, we had a lot of them by the time it was over.
But they were, what kind of goats were they again?
Nigerian dwarfs.
And they were the most cute?
They were wonderful.
Yes.
It was a great time in my life.
Yes.
Like, I have no regrets.
No. And
I don't miss the responsibility.
No, there was a lot. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility. It really ties you down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have a pet now. I don't even have a dog, cat, goat.
What?
I don't even have, I have goats in other places. Like, I have friends of mine that are like, oh, that used to be my goat.
Aww.
They're...
Well, how many, I think the last time I remember us talking about your goats, I think you were like up to 20 or something.
Yeah.
It really got up there, really.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, I kept telling Paul, my husband, I go, can I just have one? And I remember talking to you thinking, well, I'll just put one in my backyard and can't really do that.
Not too much.
No, but they are the cute ones.
I don't even have anything. I don't even have a goldfish. I have no pets.
Wow.
Sometimes I think, I should get me a little dog or something.
Oh,
but
don't get a little one. I know. It does tie you down.
I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I love pets, but I just don't want to be responsible for them.
Yeah.
I don't want to train another dog. I don't want to, I just don't want to do it.
Well,
I'm beyond that, I think, right now. Now, maybe when I'm older.
Well,
I might consider a dog, but right now,
it's funny. No. I have another friend who just recently lost this dog, and I mean, she lives in the villages, and every single thing around her house was, come in only if you love dogs. She was a definite dog lover, and she had a real small one, and he had kidney failure and died, and we were talking, and she was like, I said, you need to get another dog. I mean, that was your whole world, and that was your company. That you don't have a husband anymore. You don't have children here anymore. You know, this is what you did. I said, that's why you're mourning this dog so much. I mean, it was like a month later, and she
Oh,
was,
that's a shame.
yeah.
She was sad.
So she just got one the other day. So she'll be happy
Yeah.
again because I mean,
Some
it's
people
tough.
can. I didn't know when I lost Tiffany was the last dog, and we had her 16 years. And
That's a long time.
it is, and I was like,
Well,
and I missed the dog, but then I just got to where I was like, no, I don't want any pets. I don't want any pets. And now every once in a while I think about it, and then I think,
your life's too busy.
I
You
don't.
gotta,
You know, if I didn't work, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
But I just don't want it. I just don't want to deal with it. And there's plenty of places you can board it. But
Yeah.
why am I going to get a dog just to board it all the time?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I was gonna say you're too busy. You do
You
too
know?
much.
Like tonight, I probably won't get home. Who knows what time by the
Yeah.
time we get done
Done,
and go.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to be late. And if I had a little puppy or something, the poor dog would probably have to wet on the floor or something.
Yeah. Well, you could always do a bigger dog and adopt like a rescue, but
No. I don't like dog hair, so it cannot shed.
okay. Well, you can
So that limits it pretty quickly.
you can get a Labradoodle.
Yeah, and it costs too much to groom them. Small dog is a lot less.
Oh, I can't.
I love it. I always had small poodles. so-
Okay, all right. So you're a poodle person.
Yes.
Okay, well then you know they don't shed and
They don't
yeah,
shed. You
I-
just take them to groomers.
yeah,
Not so much.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then the other thing I was trying to remember, because when we first, and the reason why I brought up the fact that we transformation is just we have always had conversations about health and fitness and things like that. And like I said, you know, you completely beat me and it pisses me off, but you
I think I've been at it longer than you.
not much.
About a year longer.
Yeah, but I'm done. I'm not going to keep doing anymore. I can't. but because I mean, I remember when we were talking about it, and you know, you started, you know, watching what you ate, is really staying away from carbs and all that. And you were the person that got me into that mindset of okay, and maybe it was because of your daughter Gabby, because she was a dietitian, starting to really talk a lot about different ways of eating.
Nutrition and stuff.
Yeah, and she really is annoying because, and I say that with all love, because when I try to buy her something to eat, I mean, she can't eat anything.
I know.
How do you do that? I mean, my daughter,
There's certain places she can go, and
Yeah.
then that's where we go.
yeah, but I mean, it's a very boring. I
Very.
mean, yeah, I mean, we were at WEC the other day, and I said, what do we want to get here at Pony? And there was not much, but let me just tell you, I'm the one that got the gluten for the first time, and I'm the one that got sick the rest of the day. So I do have to hand it to her. She knows what she's talking about.
I know. It
'Cause
gets you sick. It makes me sick too.
it does, man. I was like, and it was happening.
I think it, for the most part, you just hear more and more people that they don't realize that's what's making them sick to their stomach.
No. And I mean,
I had licorice, and I didn't even think that licorice had weed in it. And so I'm eating this licorice. I got a little packet of licorice. I hadn't had licorice in I don't know how long. It was
And I
so
love
good.
licorice. I
Red
know.
licorice. I eat it. All of a sudden, I've got like this. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I mean, the stomach pain was horrible. And I was like, what the heck is this? I turned that packet around, wheat. I'm like, oh my gosh, I ate too many of these. I'm going to be sick all night. And I was sick all
and
night.
see that probably the last week and a half, just recently, I've noticed that like as soon as I eat, within about 15, 20 minutes later, I'm just sick. I mean, I get it right here, and it's just, you know, it's a burning, but it's
just pain.
and then and then I feel like I'm going to be sick, and then it passes. I mean, it doesn't stay. So I'm taking Gabby's word that it's gluten, and
It sounds gluten.
because I'm trying not to eat anything, and I don't typically eat gluten either. I try to stay away from it because of you guys. I've learned that over the
But yeah,
3 years.
it is amazingly. I mean, literally, I didn't even realize I had suffered with stomach pain my entire life. Like I remember as a small child
That's
having
amazing.
stomach pain like that, and you know, everybody
We
say,
didn't know
"Oh,
that, yeah.
Mom would say, oh, you're just nervous. You just need to, you know, take this Alka-Seltzer or
Yep.
Tums or whatever."
Right.
And I
wasn't-
lived like that my whole life until just a few years ago when I started on this
Yeah,
diet. And
yeah.
then I realized the doctor had said that your borderline Hashimoto's. He said, I think it's gluten that's causing this issue because it's an autoimmune response.
Yeah.
And he said, just do me a favor, just don't go crazy, but just take out the obvious things out of your diet. Bread, pasta.
Right,
You don't have to
yep.
read a bunch of labels or anything, but just the main things that you know for a fact have wheat.
All the good carbs that we love.
So I said, okay, I'm going to try it. So I did. And I didn't really put two and two together because I was on this diet anyway. And then one day I went and had barbecue. And they gave me this piece of Texas toast. I could just have a bite or two. I had a bite, another bite, another bite. Before you know it, I ate the whole piece.
Because that's what we do.
I was so sick. Like I had indigestion so bad. The heartburn was so bad. It was so intense. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is, and I got on Google, is gluten intolerance, does it look like GERD or, acid or whatever? Sure enough. And I was like, oh my gosh, this has been my whole problem, my whole life.
And now you don't have problems at all.
No, unless I eat too much, like that licorice. I was like, as soon as I had that pain, I was like, I just flipped that thing over and read the label. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have ate this licorice.
And it's a total lifestyle change. I mean, and I do think that a lot of people definitely are more into understanding nutrition a little bit different now because of all the allergies and because of all the things. But, I mean.
And they are really. The food industry is just, especially since COVID.
Yeah.
I think everything you touch almost has gluten in it. Like I know immediately if something has trace amounts because my nose will start running immediately.
Wow.
I can be eating it, and even if, like, for example, you get chicken wings.
Right.
Well, they fry regular plain chicken wings in the same vat as they do fried chicken with all the breading.
Yep.
So if they put them together, which they do a lot.
Right. You'll know.
I will know. It won't make me sick because it's just a trace amount, but I will start having a runny nose.
That's funny.
I know they were cooked in the same.
Yeah. Well, I tell you.
I know people don't, everybody go, oh, that's not a real thing. Oh, it's a real thing.
I think it must be because I can tell you when I decided to go on my food, weight loss journey too, it was get rid of everything white. Just no potatoes, no rice, no bread. And those are all my favorite things. But I did it to get rid of the carbs, to try to go on a low carb. Didn't think about the gluten part, but I think when I met Gabby, she started talking about the gluten, so I started getting gluten crackers because I started missing the crunch of things and things like that. Just something that made me feel like I was eating something normal. I went through every single brand there was and hated every single one of them. I was like, why bother? Don't eat them because they're lousy. Until I found like one that I like, and my husband. I order it from Amazon, so it comes in every 2 months, so I don't run out. And he goes, you got to put a stop on this. He goes, you've got 5 giant bags of these crackers in the closet, and you just haven't eaten yet. And I said, I'll get to it. I'm working on it, But no, I do find that, and I was that person that would put my nose up to people who, I can't eat this, I can't eat this. Like, get over it. I can eat anything, I don't understand that.
But that's the thing. Now I realize that. You can't eat it.
Yeah, but you don't know. Then you don't know how bad you feel until you don't feel it anymore.
Right, exactly. That's exactly
it. So, obviously.
Just like with body ache. Like, I had so many body aches. Gabby could tell you. I would not, and I was a lot younger then.
Yeah.
Like, this is 10 years ago, so I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
And I would take her with me to the grocery store because I needed help with, like, water. Picking things up because I had so much pain in my body.
And that was gluten too?
I think it was gluten and it was weight.
Yeah, well, the weight too, for sure.
I think it was all of that, all of the above. And so inflammation.
I saw a picture, and I don't know why it popped up, but it did pop up, of when I had the open house here, the grand opening at Prime Lending, and Kimmy came, and I was sitting at my desk, and it was her and somebody else standing next to me. And I looked at that picture and I'm just like, how did I not know that? But I mean, everything hurt, to your point.
Yes.
But the knees, the hips, the back, the lower back, standing up to do dishes, doing.
Yes.
And that's why when you get rid of it and you finally can move again and you can, it's like I always laugh with Gabby when we go somewhere and we do a video, and I'll say, I'm not walking. I mean, because I got heels on now. I've just started gravitating back to heels.
Me too. I didn't wear heels for over 10 years.
Me either. And so I'm like,
because I couldn't.
No.
The pain in my back was just intense.
Intense.
Now I dance in them.
I know. I've seen you.
And that all has to do with weight loss.
That's all it is.
It's nothing.
And once
and
you
I'm
lose
not a. I mean, I do some walking and I go out to dance but I don't go to the gym. I'm not like a gym.
No, but
person.
you are very active.
I'm an active person, but I mean, I'm not like exercising to that
Right,
extent.
right.
But it is just the weight.
Yeah,
really.
I think.
And diet change.
And
I think
it changed my life. I mean,
Yep.
and that was the decision I finally came up with. I said, when my, because my son had his 2 kids, but they were older and stuff, and I didn't get to be around them very much. But when my daughter had her too, and I'm like, I want to be around. I mean, I can.
and you want to enjoy them too, because they have so much energy.
Oh my God.
Even when you feel like $100 million.
Listen, even now,
they'll suck the energy out of you.
Yeah, one day with me, the second day when they go home, it takes me 2 days. I sleep until but
They got energy to go.
They do. They wake up going 100 miles a minute.
Yeah.
With their eyes open, and I'm just like, just give me a minute. But no, I love them so much, and I thought, I want to, there were times I can remember Kelsey, my daughter, will say, Mom, you would just go, Paul, get me a Diet Coke. Paul, do this or do whatever. I never would walk. I would never get up. I'd never stand up. And I never realized I was that sedentary, and it was just like, well, I don't want to watch the kitchen. It's too far, So,
Yeah,
I mean, I was bad. I was bad. So, yeah, so it is good. But let's talk about what else besides our beautiful transformation. And thank God it happened when it did.
I think it's put at least 10 years on my life.
Oh, I think
no
so
doubt
too.
about
Yeah, me too. So real estate.
Well, it's funny. I just got off the phone. There's a guy that I've been showing some houses to. I showed him this morning. And he says to me, the house that he liked, it was funny. They did some weird stuff inside.
Yeah.
And so the agent, of course, she can't get rid of it because of this weird stuff.
Right.
And
He likes it?
But he likes the layout minus what they did.
Right.
So she called and asked, and I said, well, he doesn't like this and he doesn't like this. He likes the house, he likes the location, but he doesn't like that they took a wall out of a bedroom. So now you've got a bedroom with only 3 walls.
Oh.
It's weird.
That is weird.
And, just stuff like this.
Yeah.
People do stuff. They probably had a good reason.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
And so she said, well, the seller will be willing to remedy those things. And I was like, So I called him up. He goes, well, maybe I should wait till March. They're telling me that the interest rates are going to go down. I said, I'm sorry to tell you, but everybody is pointing to interest rates going up. Mm-hmm. Yes? I mean, inflation is not going down. And until it starts on the downward, they're going to go down.
They're going to go down the second quarter because we're getting close to the election. That's when.
But how far are they going to go?
You might see them go. I think we'll be. I mean, here's the thing, Yvonne. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. When rates started going up, right, in March, and we went from 2.5% to 3%, all of a sudden we went to 4.5%.
Yes. And
then we were freaking out. Then we went to 5.5%, and it was like, and 6.5%, and I'm literally going, don't kill the messenger. I mean, I would have anxiety just having to explain what the rate was.
Well, we got so used to with 2 to 3, 4%.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is that I never thought in a million years, and not that anybody is happy with the rates.
No.
Including us.
Right.
I mean, it makes our lives and jobs much harder. But people adapt. And it's just like, they'll always go, oh, well, I remember when I paid $15. I'm glad they say that. But they also paid $45,000 for the house.
Right.
Not $400. Right? So there's a big difference.
There is a big difference.
So what I say all the time is that now that, we're close to 8 and people are still buying. So I think what's happened, the psyche of the buyer has finally gotten used to the fact that we have rates that are higher. Yeah, do they want you to go as low as you can and do it? And what people don't realize is that they think, you can't get a rate without points right now, right? You have to pay points.
And people don't like that at all.
No, but everybody's like, well, the bank makes all the money on the points. And people don't realize that the way that the market is, that the points, you can't get a par rate. There is none. To do the points, it's just to break even. It's not to make money. So there's no money in the rates right now. So banks and everybody are their goal today is to break even. not lose money. If they can break even, they'll sustain. But I mean, there are a lot of companies out there that don't have the financial backing, don't have the ability to sustain through this, because they can offer you, a lower rate for a while or whatever, but at the end of the day, whatever they're paying their people, the overhead, whatever, their margins are the same as everybody else's.
Right.
So, and I'm already starting to see that there are companies that are definitely going under.
Yeah, sure. This is gonna adjust a
Yeah,
lot of things.
but I do think.
But I do know that the rates. I mean, everybody wants to wait, and
There's
think
there's
waiting
nothing to wait.
There's nothing to wait. I don't. Everybody was saying let's wait last year.
Yeah.
Oh, the prices are too high. Well, the prices might be lower next year, but I bet you those rates are going to be up.
Well, and let's just talk about.
And where are you at?
And then
you're in
let's
the
talk
same
about
place.
the same thing. I mean, when the rates go down, what's going to happen?
Prices
the houses
are
are
gonna
going to
go
go
up.
back up.
Yeah.
So,
and prices are adjusting down.
Yeah, and here today, I mean, I got in 3 appraisals yesterday, and every appraisal, and I've been saying this a couple times in the video, but every appraisal I got yesterday, with the exception of one, came above contract. So not a great deal, but over. So as long as we can maintain where we are and we don't drop more, because there's so many options out there for agents to not have to drop the rates, drop the prices, and try to maintain the market with the pricing, and doing the buy downs and doing things like that, instead of taking $10,000 and dropping the contract price. Take $10,000 and buy down the rate and get your buyer pool open up a little bit more. And when you start showing that to your sellers and for the listing agents showing that, it makes all the sense in the world, because they're still selling their house. They're still netting out what they are, but you're not dropping the market, because every time you drop the price, and people see reduction in prices, it's a buyer's field day. They're like,
it is a buyer's field day.
Let's
right
go.
now.
How low will you go? How much lower will you go? I'll wait a little bit.
I have seen people drop prices when the offers come in significantly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm telling all the buyers. Sorry, sellers, but it's like anything else. The sellers had their heyday.
Yeah.
Now it's going to go the other way a little bit.
And I remember us having our conversation 2 years ago, when you would say, my seller will not give concessions.
Right.
They will
Won't
not
do
do
any
anything
of
but
it.
conventional.
And why not?
And I'm not going to do anything with the FHA borrower.
Why should you?
Exactly. Right.
It was
right.
their turn.
It was their turn. And I remember saying to you, Yvonne, there will
It's
come a
gonna turn
time.
around, yeah, we're going to be back there again.
But really, I mean, from a buyer standpoint, which is, to me, what I like, obviously I deal with the buyers.
Right.
But I mean, there's so much opportunity for them now. I mean, they can get into down payment assistance, gift funds, seller concessions.
Well, I'm going to ask for this particular house. Probably we're going to ask for considerable concessions.
Yeah, you should.
A closing cost, because number one, he needs it. It's a VA loan. So
Okay. Shoot.
why not?
Absolutely.
And I think that's what I was telling him. I'm like, yeah, maybe the rates will go down just a little bit, but then people aren't going to be as eager to do
Help
these
you
other
and give
things.
you these
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Nope.
So right now is a good time for everyone that's looking to buy. Right now is a very good time, because January through August
That's when
is
everybody
prime
comes.
buying,
Yep.
and people are less likely to negotiate.
Exactly.
Right now is a beautiful time to buy.
And
deal with the rates. We
real-
just have to deal with it. When the rates go the other way, you can always refinance if it seems to be the right thing.
And the good thing is, they're going to have the equity. So they may pay a higher rate today, but they're going to refinance. I say it to every
maybe they
customer I
won't.
talk to. Listen, nobody in their right mind is going to keep these rates. I wouldn't. If the rates drop down to 5%, I would be refinancing. It'd be worth it to drop 2%, 2.5%.
And let's face it, most people don't even keep the house that long.
Absolutely not. So, I mean, that's why I say, if you can afford the payment and you love the house, buy the house.
Right, and you can get a great deal.
And get it. I mean, do it.
Why not?
And so that's what I'm seeing a lot of right now, is just a lot of opportunity for people to.
Yeah, it's a good time really to be a buyer, especially if you're looking for some concessions and closing costs.
Yep,
and
that's good. With people that have, depending on what price point they are, but on the flip side of it, right now with high rates and the market still holding, there's a lot of affordability issues with first-time buyers.
Right.
Those are our biggest challenges.
Yeah, they are
right
the
now.
biggest right now. But right now I haven't been dealing with a lot of first-time buyers.
I take a lot of pre-approval, or I take a lot of applications. I just can't help them, and I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I was dealing with
lately.
one.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Because I like first-time buyers.
Yeah.
But
there's just not a whole lot.
Unless they have some disposable cash, it's tough, because especially with these. If they had to buy a car lately, the DTI is pathetic. These cars were so expensive, and it is terrible, these rates
I say
for
it
the car
I
rates.
say it to Gabby and friends of mine all the time. I go, when I run credit and I see someone that has very low credit card debt, but $1,000 car payment, I'm just like, what are these car dealers thinking? Especially young kids, younger people, and I'm like, you have just taken yourself out of the market until you get rid of that car. I mean, you're.
Well, that's the new norm now.
I know it's $900, $800,
Yep.
$1,000 because everybody has to have something now, and
That's the new norm. Even with significant money down, I am that person.
Yep.
I had to rebuy a car.
Yep.
And I was almost in tears leaving.
Yeah, because you're just
I mean,
like,
I handed them all this cash, and I
still have a
this.
high payment. Yep.
And I'm like, well, what am I going to do?
There's nothing you can do.
I can buy a used car, and then what?
Put money into it.
Right, and these used
not
cars
having
are
any-
not cheap either.
No, the used cars are sometimes more expensive
And
because
it's
they're
like,
the commodity.
So when you're young and they have to have a vehicle.
They have to have a vehicle, but they don't have to have $1,000 a month payment.
Probably not.
But,
especially in their
and
position.
I don't know
they
what
probably
is that
shouldn't have been.
age group. What is it? What are the ones that are in their
Late
late
30s.
20s and early 30s? What group is that?
Millennials,
Is that them?
30s and 40s.
Yeah, I mean they have to have every toy. They have to have. I mean they have to live paycheck to paycheck because toys are more important. Having things, buying things. I had a guy a month ago that
I don't think it's a generational thing. I see it in every generation.
I don't know, man.
I think as you get older, you have more disposable income, so you're going to have less bills, but you have just as many toys. I am guilty.
Well, I mean, I was guilty. I was
own
guilty.
3 golf carts, for God's sake.
Well, that's ridiculous. Okay, so maybe it doesn't apply.
2 boats.
But I did have a guy the other
What
day
else
that
we got?
was like, he was our age, he was in that age range, and he was very honest. He goes, I make great money, but I don't hold on to any of it. And I'm just like, now me, it's different. When you have a fixed salary and you're making $150,000 a year, and you've got pensions from other places, it's a little different.
Oh, yeah.
Than when you're commission sales and we're sitting there going, every month is a brand new,
Right.
thing. And sometimes if the economy's not doing it like it used to, a couple of years ago, if it's not doing certain things, I mean, when it's good, it's good. I mean,
Right.
I'm the first person out there spending everything. But when it's bad, like right now, it's not even bad. I was saying to Kimmy last night, I said, isn't it amazing that we can sit out, we can go out to dinner, we can spend money, we can do all the things that we normally do, and we don't feel it the way so many people feel it right now.
Well, that's what I
They
mean. Like
can't literally buy
that
groceries.
age group. I mean, they're the ones with the kids, and I go back to when I was there
Yep.
and having to take. Yeah, it was a whole different world than it is today.
Yeah, but
We didn't have a lot of toys.
No,
we
didn't.
We had 4-wheelers. Remember when you were little?
She's not here. Yeah, Gabby, come on over here and just come on, sit in. Bring a chair over here, girl.
You got your 5-minute mark.
Okay. But no, we didn't. We didn't, and my mom used to say, you have food on the table and a roof over your head.
Right.
That's all you need.
I couldn't afford them.
Well, with my kids, we didn't do that. It was a menu. Every week I knew what I was having every single night of the week because I would budget what to buy, and that's what we eat. We didn't go out and eat. We didn't, we had pizza Friday nights. That was our big deal. Not anymore. So
No more pizza.
now I don't get to eat pizza
You know
anymore.
what I do with pizza?
What?
Everybody goes. I order a pizza and I strip the toppings off of it and put this crust to the side and eat the toppings.
Do you know that you can?
It still tastes like pizza.
I know, but do you know that not Marco's?
No, I get it. I get.
They have the
gluten-free,
bakes.
too.
They have the bakes where it's the pizza bake. It's got everything that a pizza would have on it except the crust.
Oh, I never seen that.
Oh, I get that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I just buy it.
But I also get the cauliflower crust ones.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
I
as
get
long
that.
as you cook them really well, and
Yeah.
get them nice and
Not as
crunchy.
kinda-
Yeah, but no, they have them at there's that what is that pizza part? It's up here. But anyway, it's they have pizza bakes and
I'll have to
and
check
a
that
little
out.
a little holler out to Roma's over off of 27 Italian restaurant. They make gluten-free pasta, gluten-free bread, pizza, and they have the cauliflower crust pizzas
Oh,
too.
okay.
So yeah, so wish it wasn't so far because I would be there a lot because
You
that's
like
what I
that.
miss. I miss my pasta.
Oh,
I'm a pasta person.
Okay,
And
I don't.
that's what I miss. If I had to have any wish back, that would be what I wanted. Is my pasta, spaghetti and meatballs. That's my thing. Yeah, nothing else. I'm happy with pasta. All right. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure.
You
It went
too.
by too fast.
Yes.
We're going to go to dinner tonight.
Right,
Yep.
right,
So we
yeah.
can continue our conversation
right,
and catch
right.
up.
And
so,
you know what? Here's what I know. No matter what the market, people are going to buy and sell real estate.
Amen, sister.
That's it.
Amen. and hopefully they'll need a mortgage every now and then.
Of course they're going to need a mortgage. 85% of all people buy it with
Yeah,
a mortgage,
yeah.
right? Or 90%.
Well, I want to make sure everybody remembers again Yvonne Vance with Realty World in Ocala. I keep wanting to say that, but
Well,
you
yeah, the
wanna
office is in Ocala.
yeah,
but I'm out down in the
but
villages.
you're in the village and
and-
you handle. You want to give your phone number out in case
Yeah,
anybody
oh, sure.
wants
It's 352-897-6173. And check me out on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's called Discovering Life in and Around the Villages.
And it's fantastic. So
It's fun.
I
It's
I
fun.
highly recommend Yvonne. She'll take great care of you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye-bye.